good afternoon, good night. No, the reason I say that is because it could be any time of the day when you're watching this, because, this is pre-recorded. This is not live, just so you know. But yeah, so good morning, good evening, good afternoon, good night. Hope everyone's doing well. Thank you for joining us for another episode of Sunday Ain't Enough. And, we have our guest, host. We got Darian. We got Dr. Kimberly. Kwamina decided to sit this one out. And we have a special guest. And I'm going to let her introduce herself to you all.
All right. My name is Adrian. Simple enough, right?
Simple enough.
What do you do?
Simple enough. What do? Well, I'm a mother. I'm a wife. I'm a grandmother. I'm a veteran, a disabled veteran. I work for the government. And I teach cycle. I teach a boot camp class at One Life. I'm just living life and trying to enjoy it and get the most out of it.
She teach them early classes.
I'm an early bird.
Listen, that early
Yeah.
cycling class. I remember I was working out at One Life, and I was like, it's early, but she be in there.
Yeah, my
What's that,
classes are at 5:15.
that Tiana Taylor song where she's like, "What do? I do everything." Like that's
There you go. Hey, you only got one life to live, right? So
Yes. So
I'm gonna make the most of it.
also, I've heard, I think you told me, you used to compete?
And I still do, but I did that as I took an offer up. I had a friend that competed. And I was like, well, maybe when I turn 50, I was like 47, 48. And when I turned 50, she held me accountable. So I went through the motion, and the first competition I did was the Linda Murray Classic, and that year it was at Norfolk State. And I was like, okay, so you go through all the motion, it takes a whole lot of work with your food and your workout. And then I was like, okay, I can do this again.
So you liked it?
I liked it because you really learn a lot about yourself and how your body works, what works for you, what doesn't work for you. And so I was like, okay, I'm going to do it again, but next time I'm going to do it on a higher level.
Okay.
So I went to the Arnold Classic because it requires the same amount of work, right? So I was like,
might as well.
might as well. So I went through that. I got me a coach. My coach was one of the, she was number 2 in the world in the figure. So she got me a good coach, went through it. And I wasn't really competing with anyone else. I was just competing with myself, right? I can do this. I cared less about who was on my left or who was on my right. And I was like, okay, I'm really enjoying this. And then I got bid again, and I was like, okay, I'm going to take it. I did the Arnold. You got to do the Olympia, right? So I prepped, and I did the Olympia. Now, again, I was just competing with myself and seeing where I could take my body to, and hey, I really enjoyed it.
Yeah. And we're going to actually share some pictures with you guys of the
wow.
actual transformation.
Big transformation.
So yeah, we're just going to flash those right now.
Yeah, but I think the biggest thing I learned from it was that you can do anything,
And
A lot of,
No, so I was gonna ask you. I know the way the world is set up. They say women look a certain way, and I know as you compete, you build a lot of muscle, and it changes your body, your physique type. What I guess is beauty for you, and how do you see that affecting other people who get involved in this?
Well, for me, there are different classes. I chose the figure, which is not hurrah, physique is more building a lot of muscle. The figure is more shape-wise. So it still required a lot of work, but what I found out is that most of it is an illusion. You lose all this weight. The girls that are competing, I think I got down to 120. And you're so small, but when you stand,
Oh my God.
yeah, when you stand on the stage and you flex, the illusion is that you're muscular.
Right.
But as soon as you relax, you don't even see it. It's similar to when you go to the gym and you lift those weights and you pump up, and by the time you get home,
You're like, wait a minute, this is not what I just saw in the mirror.
it's not what you saw when you was at the gym looking in the mirror. So it's a lot of it is really an illusion. And then, you're on stage and the judges are down low, so it's, it looks like you're huge, but you're not. So, yep. And like you can see in the pictures, I didn't get like super huge and
Swole.
anything. Swole, right. Like I said, it was just something I wanted to do to figure out, learn about myself, and help someone else. Yeah.
Yeah, so I know a lot of times when people, whether it's, bodybuilding for competition or even just trying to get into the habit of making, exercise and working out a part of their normal routine, it's more, you gain more than just my physique or the shape that I'm looking for. You gain so much mentally and, just that who you are as a person. So can you share with us some of the things that, you learned about yourself or how that process kind of helped you?
Oh, yes. Well, one of the things that I have lupus and fibromyalgia. So for me, the whole workout thing kind of started, went to a group study class for pain management. And in that class, I learned, okay, I can kind of twist this around, good workout. You're going to be sore. I'm already sore. But I can trick myself into being able to function throughout the day because my mind is telling me that I had a good workout and I'm sore from working out. So that's really how I started getting into it more and more and more. And then sometimes the pain goes away. Now, I do self-care. I get the massages, I go to the chiropractor. I'm doing whatever I can to help ease the pain as well. But for me, waking up first thing in the morning, I got to get up and work out. Whether I'm at the gym or in my garage at the gym or something, I have to do something, and that keeps me going throughout the day. Now, towards the end of the day, my body gonna shut down. But I'll just get up the next morning and do it all over again.
That's super inspiring because it makes me feel like I need to do more because the fact that you and, other people are battling with disease or illness, but you're still getting up and working out, that's like, it's pretty convicting to me.
Yeah.
And I only go to the gym 3 days a week. So I feel like I need to bump it up a little more.
But even if you're not doing something, going to the gym every day to walk,
Right.
do something,
Something
do some
active.
jumping jacks, just be active. If you're sitting at a desk all day, get up, do some jumping jacks, do some squats, just move around. Because when I lay down or when I'm, standing still, that's when you really feel everything.
Right.
I do have a question, though. As far as the competing process, what is the worst part about it?
The food.
Food?
The food, because, you go through different stages, but ultimately it's like no sugar, no alcohol.
Ooh.
You know what I'm saying?
Sugar.
Right, it was the sugar and the alcohol.
you letting go of the bread. You're eating a lot more throughout the day. Like I would eat like 5 meals. Lots of chicken, lots of protein, chicken and fish. Throw in some steak every now and then. Lots of green vegetables. That's where I would get the majority of my carbs from, the green vegetables. And then, the sweet potatoes, a little rice here and there. But that's what you're eating all day long. No cookies. Once a week after I got into it, you get a cheat meal. And for me, my cheat meal was Five Guys.
Ooh.
I
But that's
literally
still
just said
protein, though.
yesterday I am craving a good burger.
Yeah, that was
all that oil
a
and
hamburger
fat.
and French fries, and it kind of resets your body, and then you go right back into. But a cheat meal, not a cheat day.
So I heard that you can't drink water for 24 hours before
That's the last week.
the last week?
Yeah,
It's for 24 hours or how long?
It's the 24 hours. So the last week you start to pull the salt. You cut down on your salt. Well, let me take it back. A few weeks before, you're loading up with water.
Before competition.
Before the
Oh.
competition. Because you hear people talk about peak week and whatnot. So you're fueling up on water, drinking a whole lot more. And then that last week, you gradually start to reduce your water intake until that last 24 hours, and
No water.
and you start to dry out.
So what is the purpose of that?
So that when you get on stage and you flex, you're not bloated, your muscles are popping. And then that day, you start to, some people have different tricks, whether it's eating something with some sugar in it or a carb to kind of make your muscles start to pump back up. But it's for that definition when you flex.
Gotcha.
Wow.
It's
That's
a mind.
intense.
It's discipline.
Is.
It's discipline.
It's a lot
Yes.
of discipline. Even honestly, for me, the food is where, oh my gosh, no alcohol, no cookie, no sugar. And that's my biggest problem is I like to snack. So my meal, I can be fine. I don't mind having the protein, the vegetable, a little bit of starch here and there, but it's the in-between that kills me. It's hard for me to find a good, healthy snack.
Cucumbers, you find all kinds of stuff. When I did the Arnold, I went to Essence Festival the week before
Really?
the competition. I did, and I stuck it out. I didn't have not one beignet.
That's,
See, no.
that's discipline
drink.
right there.
I rented an electric bike. I went to the gym and whatnot, and I still have fun. Went to the concerts and whatnot. I walked around with asparagus in my pocket, some chicken. I packed the cooler. Took them.
Your pocket.
Yeah.
Got some chicken in my pocket.
God.
But you just learn how to be disciplined, because the more, just like with anything, the more you get into it, you be like, yeah, I can do that. And if you're a competitive person,
Right.
you're
Right.
like,
I love it.
That word discipline is bringing us to our first statistic, which is, well, Americans, we lack discipline as a whole. So the first statistic I have is 80% of Americans don't get enough exercise. How many is that out of us? So that's like maybe like 3 of us don't get enough
Oh,
exercise.
the word. See,
Oh,
you
yeah.
always bring these statistics that have like enough. What is enough?
Enough?
Who's gonna tell me what's enough?
I guess enough is honestly every day. And exercise is I think exercise is any type of movement.
So what I'm saying is, say don't get enough. That's like saying don't get enough rest. Don't get it. What's enough?
I guess you're right.
where you get this statistic from?
I got this from Google. Where else do you get statistics from? But that's just one statistic. The other one is that 32.5% of Americans are overweight.
Well, who determines that? Let's start there. Who determines?
There is a system that we go by in America. Like, I know for me, if I'm 6'2", and I weigh 180. So technically I'm like average. But if I was to weigh like 195 and above, I'd be overweight.
But I don't think that's fair, because, like I said, who determines that? Just because someone came up with that and would use it as a guide and all, but it's just like testing and whatnot.
Yeah.
With children, everyone it's so many different backgrounds and dynamics that to take into account. So
Yeah, it's like who
to label
definitely
someone
determines
average,
that?
you're average because so and so says it.
Yeah, I mean, even when you go to different gyms or you start working with the trainer and they do your body mass index and they're like, you're slightly overweight. I'm like, gosh, thanks.
Courtney, who's standard?
Right,
Yeah.
thanks, yeah. So I did just Google.
More statistics.
I tried. This one came from Mayo Clinic.
Oh, okay.
.org.
Okay.
Oh.
So
Mayonnaise?
yeah, something like that.
Okay.
Yeah. But they said that the average exercise that you should get should be at least 150 minutes a week, or 150 minutes of moderate aerobic activity, or 75 minutes a week of vigorous activity. So just over an hour if you're really working
Going
out.
after it.
So if that's the case, then I am in the 20%.
Me too.
I get I can
Me
do
too.
I can get a good hour at least in the week. I mean, I try and do a little
Wow.
more, but
When you put it like that,
you're above
there's
average.
really
huh?
80% people who don't. There really are 80% of people who don't get at least an hour.
Of
week.
rigorous activity, I would say probably so.
Why don't?
Well, what I have recently, because I've recently started trying to work out consistently, so I try and do at least 4 exercise sessions a week, at least 30 minutes per session. Sometimes I push for an hour. But what I've realized is, for me, I had to make it become for me.
Yeah.
You know, so it's kind of become my release. In this 30 minutes, this 45 minutes, 60 minutes, this is my time to kind of let the week go or let whatever it is go. And I've committed to whatever I've got going on, I'm going to make this time work for me. And so in the past, I've been like, oh, well, no, I need to get this done, so I'm going to have to push this back. And I'm the type that once 3 or 4 o'clock comes, if I ain't worked out yet, then it's probably not going to happen.
Yeah,
That's
it's
how it
raps.
is for me.
Yeah.
I can't. That's why. First
Yeah.
thing in the morning.
Yes. Now, I'm not that early. I'm not a 5:15er, but a good 7, 8, 9-ish is where I really, you know, like to try and get my workout in. Because it starts the day off with a check off you just accomplished something.
Wow. See, I'm total opposite. I work out after I eat. Well, after I eat dinner, let it digest, then I work out. So we talking about between 9 and 12 is when I work out. Is that weird?
No, everybody got
everyone's
their own thing.
different.
You
Yeah.
shaking your head like this. Like
No,
that's
because what I
horrible.
was gonna say is, for me, I work out more often when I don't feel good about like me. So when I'm happy, I'm just like, I ain't going to the gym. Life is
We
good.
good.
Wow.
Life is good. I don't. And then like something start going wrong. I'm like, I need something to change, and then I'll start working. So it's not. For me, it seems it's like, dang, why don't you have all good instead of like seesawing back and forth?
And you know what? I mean, I've actually never heard anyone put it like that or anyone have a workout schedule like that.
No,
Because I know if I'm feeling kind of bad, I don't work out.
well, I mean more in the general sense of like, dang, I didn't get this job, or like, I do not feel good. So
Right.
it's like, all right, I'll just focus on this because you feel sometimes more in control. So now, all right, I'm going to take control of this, and then I'll start being consistent working out. And then, circumstances change, got to work it out. Then I'll be like, oh, I feel good already without working out. So I ain't going back to the gym. Now it's a hassle. Now I got to go take time, and it flips. I don't know. So I got to
So do
figure out
you
how
work out when you feel good sometimes?
No, like when I'm in a really great place, I will leave the gym in the past.
So if you're in a great place from here on out, you'll never go to the gym again?
I mean, that's just what I currently
not
do.
a priority.
I just,
Right.
it's not something that I'm like, yeah, do that. That's the way to live. I'm just saying, looking at myself, I've figured that out. Like, oh, I'm way more consistent when I'm feeling a little down. Yeah, all of those things I'll do more when,
that's still
like I'll
activity.
focus on golf. Like, it's cold outside now, but I got to get back out there. Like, my clubs don't even know my name no more.
Like, that actually surprises me about you, Darren, because you're an athlete. So, I mean, even like Ms. Adrian was saying, you know, even if it's not going to the gym and, you know, bench pressing or weight or whatever, even you don't go, like, ball anymore.
But I give all of that energy to other people. Like, the time where I would spend hooping, now I'm coaching. So I'm in the gym for 2.5 hours, but I'm yelling at somebody else dribbling instead of, like, doing it myself. So that's where, like, I'm there, but I'm still, like, slightly disconnected from my own stuff.
I think I'm going to say this last statistic just so I can get out the way.
Bro, you got to start citing your sources.
I know, right?
Google.
MLA format, APA format.
It says 36.5 people in America are obese.
Only 36.5 people.
percent.
36.5%. Let me clear that up. Obese. And, I mean, what is obese?
I think that's like what Ms. Adrian said. Who is making these standards, okay? And I think it's terrible because y'all want to say how many people in the country is obese, but y'all put a fast food restaurant
Every
on every
corner.
corner. So
Every
what y'all? I mean,
corner.
what do y'all expect? If they don't thrive, it's our fault. If we make them succeed, now we obese. Like what?
I don't understand why there is fast foods on every corner.
It's not just the fast food. I mean, even in the supermarket, they get you there.
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
And
Absolutely.
And fast food is so cheap. So it's so easy
What?
to get.
It's so cheap. No
Yeah, I was
more.
gonna say.
It's not cheap.
It's not cheap.
McDonald's not cheap.
I don't know when the last time I went to
Yeah, me neither.
McDonald's.
But I know they thrive on, being affordable type thing, like
But
cheap.
fast food like Chick-fil-A.
All right, you don't know how much
That's gourmet fast
all
food.
fast food costs. How much does a head of lettuce cost? You don't know.
Well, my wife does the shopping, so I don't know specifically.
But yeah, but what I'm saying is you get a whole head of lettuce, or you can get a McDouble.
But lettuce is not what type of lettuce we talking about.
Oh my God.
Because lettuce is not technically
Everything's
healthy.
going- Well,
It's just water, right?
Well, I think the
It's
darker
not
the
not
lettuce,
Romaine,
right,
romaine
Yeah.
lettuce
is
is
the
good
healthier.
for you.
Yeah.
Whatever we talking about, it's probably better than however they made their burger not fresh off
However
the
they
grill.
made it.
Yeah,
With whatever they made. Stop.
All right, so we're
We
going to
just lost our
move
McDonald's
into
sponsorship.
a topic of, we know exercise is one, but what are the easiest ways to combat being overweight or obesity or unhealthy?
Man, before we
Air
go
quotes, air
there,
quotes.
there are other versions of unhealthy. Because I feel like I will get underweight. When I get stressed, I will not eat.
Got you.
Oh, I'm the opposite. When I'm stressed, I eat. I'm a stress eater.
Are you like stressed but very like busy? Like doing a lot of
Either
things?
or. Sometimes it'll be running around all day and then like, dang, I didn't eat. Or it's like same thing, not feeling great. And I think this goes into like how I'm feeling. Then at some point I'll just be like, bro, I'm not even going to eat. And then when you get into that, when it gets like almost like a depressive state and you just be like sitting on the couch, I feel like I haven't expounded enough energy to like want to eat. So then I
Right.
just like sit and be like,
I
dang,
mean, that's true.
I watched 6 episodes of this show. I guess it's time to go to sleep.
Dang.
Yeah.
I say one way is activities. Like, golf, walking places, riding a bike.
What you
that's
do when it's
exercise.
cold?
What I do when it's cold?
Yeah.
The gym. I go to the gym or I'm inside doing push-ups. I follow this guy on subscribe to this guy on YouTube. His name is Bully Juice, and he be having us do some crazy workouts. Like I be feeling like I'm about
In
to
the house.
die. Yeah, just
The house
turn on
version?
YouTube. Yeah, it'd be like, yo, I didn't even know you could go this hard without weights and
Yeah,
stuff
don't
like
sleep
that.
on an at-home workout. You can get a pretty good workout in.
Oh, definitely.
I mean, and there's so much content to help you through it.
yeah, it's like no excuse, really.
Yeah.
Just like you Google.
Right.
Or you can go on social media and
Yes.
find,
Yep.
the basics, jumping rope, doing sit-ups, push-ups, jump,
Yeah, it's definitely like that because even my mom, she's had various like shoulder surgeries, so she can't really like do push-ups per se. And I think she had a problem with her back, but she was searching up exercises she could do that doesn't necessarily put a lot of strain on that. And doing those actually helped her get back to like, perfect health and things like that. So like they said, there's a lot of content out there. You just got to be, disciplined enough to actually look it up and do it. And that leads to the next thing, disciplining yourself with eating unhealthy foods. Why is it so hard to resist certain foods?
Honestly, for me,
Yeah.
it's because of the taste.
Is it really the taste?
Yes, Sam.
I read
For
something
me,
that
it
was
is.
like, it's not even the taste. It's what the actual sensations on our tongue does to our like dopamine or something. It
So
creates dopamine.
So
the
still
way
the taste
the
buds.
flavor, right, it sends
Right.
a signal to say, oh, I need more of that.
But even if you see it and you're not tasting it, like what
Well,
I'm saying,
as
you
long
drive
as
by
I don't
Krispy
taste
Kreme.
it, it's not unhealthy to me. It only becomes unhealthy once I eat it.
I'm saying it's the thought automatically. Like when you go past Krispy Kreme, you see the hot light on and you smell the food or something like
and
that.
my tongue waters because I can
and then the
envision
discipline kicks in. But it's, to be honest, it really is the discipline and learning to eat for the health of it and not the taste of it. Yeah.
Yeah,
But
it's
it's
hard. Sometimes.
everything in moderation. That's what I always say.
I mean, the whole I feel like the whole kind of gist of all that we've talked about is it still boiling down to the discipline and, you beating your mind, because I need the cheddar and sour cream or the cheddar and, what is it? Cheddar and sour cream chips. I do love those. No, I don't need them. So me making the decision that one, it's the unhealthier snack option.
Yeah.
So let me pick up the apple instead or whatever else I choose to pick up. That discipline is what holds us back a lot of times, and then, or even the thought that, well, I ate real good yesterday, so I deserve today. And then it's like now it becomes from a cheat meal to a cheat day.
or week.
Right.
A lot of times, a little trick that I tell some of my clients is when you start, before you eat and you say your grace, right? Let it start there. Just be mindful because you're asking it to be nourishing for your body or whatever you say for your grace. But if you put a little bit more thought into it, and then you look down and you go to put that food in your mouth, you're going to feel some type of guilt or shame.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So even whether you eat it all, you're being greedy and you're eating a lot, or you're eating something that you know is not nourishing for you or good for you. But it starts with the discipline, and you just gotta make those healthy choices when you can. Nobody's perfect. It's not gonna be,
Yeah, it's not gonna be
peaches and cream every day,
Right.
but you gotta be a little mindful about it.
You got to be more disciplined than not.
So I have a question. When it comes to working out, and maybe even more so when you were in the process of the bodybuilding competitions, and did you ever plateau? And if you have, how did you?
I don't think I ever did.
Okay.
If I thought I was, like I'm in competition with myself, and I'm just a big competitor. So I just felt like if I'm on the treadmill and the person beside me goes up, I'm going up too. You know what I'm saying? So I'm just gonna push myself more. And I just had in my head throughout that process that I got to do this. I got to do this. You can do this. Stay with it. If everyone's eating or drinking or whatever, I can do this. Y'all go right ahead. But outside of it, I have plateaued because I'm not putting as much energy or effort into it, or I don't have a certain goal
That you're trying
You know
to,
what I'm saying? But when
work
you set those
towards.
goals, like I'm going to Mexico, or I'm going here, or you have a wedding or something, and then you're more focused on it. But when you don't have a goal set,
Yeah.
Is that part of what's driving you now?
Me, yeah, it is. And I'm hoping that I can make it, because again, like I said a few minutes ago, I've tried to make it more about me. So it is that I'm working out for the wedding and the honeymoon and all that kind of stuff, but it's also, like Miss Adrienne said, teaching me a lot more about myself. So I started with a trainer, and sometimes she'll hand me a weight, and I'm like, now I cannot. And then she'll be like, just let me see. And then when I lift it, whether it's one of those glute bridges or even some kind of curl, and I surprise myself, and then so it makes me feel better. So now I'm like, I'm in pain, but like I'm in pain because I did.
Both.
So
That's why.
it's a
It's
really
almost like
good
those
feeling.
taste buds. You
Yes.
know what I'm saying?
It releases the same thing in your brain.
It does,
dopamine.
but I think we talked about that last week or the week before with your mother-in-law, that working out releases melatonin,
Yeah.
which makes you feel good anyway. So that's why probably, honestly, Darian, when you even if you say you go work out when you're feeling down, it could be internally your body saying, I need this workout because it will release
Right.
something that starts to make me feel better.
For sure.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It definitely releases a lot of tension and stress. I know when I'm stressed or feeling stressed or just overwhelmed, that workout, man, when I get back, I feel so rewarding. And it's like everything I was stressed about it's fine.
gone.
It's
Yeah,
gone.
yeah.
I release all that tension or even anger sometimes. Anger, you go in there and
you
try
get a
to
slam ball.
lift something super heavy, just,
Yeah.
just like.
But no, I guess that's.
I said melatonin.
I
It's
know,
not
yeah.
Yeah,
I
we were gonna come
was
back.
like, we're gonna let it ride.
No,
It might just sleep
that's
me
what
a
you
little
take
bit.
to sleep. But sorry, guys. It's dopamine
Yeah,
and
dopamine.
serotonin.
Serotonin, yeah.
My bad.
But no, the reason I asked you that is like similar to what we were talking about is, yes, I know that that'll happen in my body, you know, the dopamine. So I go work out, and you were talking about, once you reach a goal, you plateau. That's my plateau. I came from a spot where I wasn't feeling good. I've worked out enough. Now I feel good. And I'm like, oh, okay, I don't need that anymore. And so I asked you that because now you ain't gonna get married again next year.
Right. What's gonna keep me?
Right.
And so that's why I'm trying. That's why I was saying I'm trying to make it. It started because of the wedding, but I'm hoping that in me, one, seeing the results and trying to make it a consistent part of my week every week, that I'm able to keep that up. Because I mean, I really do actually enjoy it. There are days that I'm like, oh my gosh, I don't want to go to the gym. But then when I get there and I'm in the action, I feel better, as opposed to days where I'm like, I don't want to go to the gym, I'm not going. And then that night I'm in bed like, see?
How often
went.
is it with the coach? Is it every time? Or
No,
you got-
it's twice a week with a coach, and then I do twice a week on my own, either on my own, like an at-home workout, or I'll go to a class.
Do you put as much effort when you're working out by yourself as you do when you're with the coach?
Well, it's a different. So like with her, it's more strength training. At home, I'll do a little more cardio and a little strength training. So kind of different, but I do try to emulate some of the exercises that she's taught me at home.
So that you can do it on
Because I can even notice, like, even when I do Russian twists or something like that, that I'll do again at home, I can go longer the more that I tend, like it used to be, you do 5 and it's like, oh my God, this hurts. But now I can do 10, I can do 15 before I have to take a break. So I see improvement.
Yeah,
And both of y'all had coaches. You ever have a strength coach?
Never had a strength coach. I always kind of let, like I said, the guys at the at-home workout, because they do it not just for at home, but in the gym, and give you kind of like, I mean, it's basically given to you for free. And then
Right.
I have a line brother from my fraternity who he used to compete and stuff like that. So he kind of set me up too, like telling me, this is what you need to do, boom, 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 if you're trying to get to a certain body goal. And then I learned I needed to eat more. Like I wasn't eating enough calories because I used to be kind of on the underweight side. I felt fine, but the standard, I was underweight. So I ended up gaining like 30 pounds. And now I'm like, I guess 180. So I used to be like 150, kind of small, really no muscles or nothing
Yeah.
like that. But yeah, doing those things kind of really helped me. And just putting my pride aside and saying, I don't really know what I'm doing. I know where I want to go. I know how I want to look, fit, and feel physically, but I don't know what I'm doing. So you just got to reach out to people.
Well, a pound of fat weighs the same as a pound of muscle. It just, on your body, it just looks different. You know what I'm saying? So you got to decide, do you want to build the muscle or you want to build the fat?
You know what? I mean, duh, but
And that's how your body's going to look. You know what
yeah.
I'm saying?
That's very
And that's
true.
what they also tell you too when you start working out. They'll say, don't look at the scale because your scale might not go down. It might end up going up, but you can tell by how your clothes, fit,
how you
the
feel.
inches, how you
the
feel.
inches, how you look in the mirror. Well, how you look in your pictures, because when you look in the mirror,
You still see who you
Yeah.
were before.
it's not the same person you
Your
see in the
biggest critic.
picture.
Yeah, that was good. A pound of fat. I mean, a pound is a pound. You're right.
That's how they do that little riddle, like, oh, what's heavier?
Right, a pound of fat or a pound of muscle. You be in there like,
A pound of feathers or a pound
Yeah.
of quarters?
Yeah.
Like that. And people be like, the pound of quarters.
right. Yeah.
Sure about that? But so I want to kind of dive into, because Jesus is the example for all we should be doing. And on this topic of exercise, do we have any specific ways we saw Jesus getting active and exercising and being healthy?
I mean,
think
he had to be moving fast to be walking on water like that. Like, like my dog got ultimate speed.
But no, the walking piece for me, like back then, I mean,
Yeah,
they pretty
everybody
much
was
walked
healthy.
everywhere.
Yeah.
I only recall Jesus being on transportation one time, and that's when he was on the donkey.
His triumphant entry.
On a donkey at that. So, but it's just like he walked everywhere. So I feel like that's a good example of it is that easy. Because I feel like he probably was not overweight or underweight.
No,
He was
I don't think
perfect,
it was
so-
too many people that were
Right.
probably overweight.
Yeah, back
because
then.
now we have so much convenience.
Too many options.
Transportation,
I mean, even their
Uber.
meal plan back then. I mean,
know.
locusts and honey. I mean, hey,
Bread every now and then.
Listen.
So.
Yeah.
so
Wow.
yeah.
So, technology has actually helped us, but hurt us at the same time. We can get places faster, but it kind of, our ability to get a good workout in or a good walk. Like people, even if something is like down the street, I doubt people will walk. Like I said something to somebody one day, I'm like, oh yeah, that drink like 2 minutes away. And I was like, we should walk. And they just looked at me like, what?
Are you crazy?
Yeah, it depends
Walk?
on where you
There's
are.
not
Like
New
around
York.
here, nah. But
wasn't
if you're
even
in
a
the
bad
city
neighborhood, though,
or
like-
whatever,
Yeah.
Anywhere.
Yeah, that is the norm.
But if it's a 2-minute walk, I feel like,
You know what? I always say this too, to what Miss Adrian was saying. My mom and I were talking. Her grandmother lived in the city, I think she said Harlem. And she lived to be almost 100. But I told my mom, I said the difference I think between her in Harlem and an older person here is in Harlem, her lifestyle was that I walk everywhere, or, it's a faster lifestyle anyway. So it kept her going. And so she didn't, here we get comfortable sitting or not being as active because everything is just a little more convenient. So I think that even played a role in her grandmother living so much longer, just because that was her normal life, is walking to the corner store or the grocery store. I mean, I don't know I don't know if everybody calls it a bodega. I don't know. But, that was what she did on the daily. So, I mean, I definitely think that still plays a role in that healthier
just being
lifestyle.
active. You use it or you lose it.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
But I mean, technology doesn't have to be, it's how you use the technology. So, yeah, if the gym where all the trainers are and they know your body, if that was 15 miles away, you got to walk 15 miles to go get your workout in, or take the time, drive, boom, now you're there, and now you can use that time more efficiently and effectively. But we'll
I
just be
would
like,
never walk 15 miles.
Well,
Never.
let's talk about, I mean, we're COVID, right? What did you do then? You could ride a bike, you could go
I
for a
know,
walk,
yep.
you can jump rope, you can do jump. It's just, being active. It's take the gym away,
take
because that's
the
not
gym
an
away.
excuse, but just being active.
And I think, though, even in talking through COVID, that was, I wouldn't say it was a great time, because it wasn't a great time for society, but I think it was a great time for everybody to slow down and then start taking advantage of having the time to go for that walk, because we
self-care.
live.
Just
Yes,
think about self-care,
absolutely. And I think America is such a, you have to be achieving all the time culture, that now that COVID has kind of started to die. I was having a conversation with my mom. I said, COVID allowed us to see you can still get your work done, but still have time to do this. But we're just reverting right back to where we were pre-COVID, to where everything is just produce. And we're losing that same, whether it's self-care or the prioritization of life again. And I hate that.
Because one thing COVID made me realize is, I like to give and work and do and whatnot. And I was like, okay, I'm turning 55 this year, and I was like, I'm trying to give some of that back to myself, do for me more and whatnot, because, tomorrow's not promised.
Right.
And it's a whole bunch of things I want to do, and I'll be mad if I die tomorrow and I haven't done them, just being active, living an active lifestyle, I think it's a healthy lifestyle.
because I mean, the other thing about COVID is that there was a time where everything inside was shut down. So like you said, going for a walk, or, oh, I'm going to go to the park. And then people were actually playing basketball on the outdoor courts again. Like that sort of thing was good to see when I was living in China, they were always outside because their living space was so small. It's like 8 people in a little dorm room. I'm not sitting in my room all day. That's not so I'm going outside. And it's funny to see how, like you said, earning those luxuries of having space and being comfortable really makes you like, oh no, I go outside.
Yeah, I'm
anymore.
good here.
Yeah, I think when COVID hit,
We got creative.
I I
Right.
treated it like
Yep.
I was in jail. Like I was just doing push-ups and sit-ups. Like I can't go to the gym.
I wasn't quite in jail, but I discovered parks. I mean, I that's when I really started trying to run regularly. I mean, I felt good. Like that was again, it wasn't a good time because I understand the epidemic, the pandemic, but it was a good time for me, myself.
Right,
Do
you
some
use it right.
self-evaluation and like you
Yes.
said, use it right.
I feel like that is a telltale sign of, I don't want to say this, but I feel like I have to, that you're a child of God, because even in the worst times the country has seen in a while, we were still good. We're learning more about ourselves. I mean, we felt fine. So it's just, that's just amazing how that works and how all things work for the good.
For the good, yeah.
For those who love God. So we're going to talk about looks versus health. And I feel like I know what Darian's going to say. Like working out for looks versus health.
Oh, okay.
Like,
Okay.
I'm going to tell you exactly what he's going to say. He's going to be like, why does it matter? You're working out.
As long as I'm doing it, who cares about why I'm doing it?
Yeah, so
Yeah.
I guess some people's take on it would be someone's being, I guess, vain, or, you know what I'm saying?
I
think
I
it's a
understand.
combination of both. But I get what you're saying because
Yeah.
when you go to the gym, you know, it's like 3 different characters in the gym.
Oh, let's see. Break them down. Break them down.
No.
Character number 1, who are they?
But
Let's hear it.
you always see that person that's like looking at
Screaming.
themselves in the mirror or whatever, or the young lady that has on the cute little outfit that's 1 and 2,
For
1 and
Instagram.
2. So I get what you're saying, but it should be a combination of both. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people like my age, women my age, we go to the doctor and be like, your cholesterol is up or you pre-diabetic and stuff. So you get into it maybe for the reason of health, but after you get into it and your clothes start to fit different or, the scale drops or whatever, you be like, okay, I'm starting to look. So I think it's a combination of both. But
Yeah.
it's a good thing.
Yeah, I don't think it's anything wrong, even if you're doing it for your looks. I mean, because I think you deserve, if getting to this look is what makes you feel good about yourself, better about yourself or whatever, I'm fine with it. And then the added benefit is that you are hopefully working toward a healthier you. And then if you do it for the health benefits initially and your secondary becomes, man, I'm starting to look better and I like the way I see when I look in the mirror, I think all of those are
Work together for the
fine.
good.
Yeah.
Work together for the good.
Yes.
And I know for, I guess, married couples or people in a relationship, you should want to look your best when it comes to having someone, there. Because I know for a fact I'd never want to fall off, because my wife already told me, she was like, if you fall off, I don't know. Like, I don't know.
Well, Sam, here's the reality, okay? I'm gonna give you the
You don't change. You don't
when
change.
No,
get
like
about
if I
40,
deliberately,
yeah. I know
fall
what you're
off, it's
saying.
a difference. Like I could, because I know at a certain age, men, they stop
Yes,
producing testosterone.
your body gonna do
so-
some crazy things.
But that's why I'm putting in the work now, so it don't get to that point. But yeah,
All right, is there is there a way y'all communicate to that way if it were to get closer to that she could step to you in a certain way? Because I know even if it would probably happen, you might be like, don't want to hear much. So how could she even step to you and be like, hey, getting close to
That get
falling
money.
off? Like
That get
what's
money
going?
good.
Or is it supposed to be like undercover? Like, hey, would you like to go walk with me? Some like, how's that communication?
she would probably. We do this for each other. We'd be like, "You going to the gym today?" It'd be like this serious look. "You going to the gym today?" Because we notice each other maybe haven't went to the gym in the past day or past 2 days, and that just be like convicted. Yeah,
That's the check-in.
I'm going.
Okay.
And then she'll be like, or if I ask her if she's going to the gym, and she'll be like, "No, I can't. I have this to do." Boom, boom, boom. And I'll be like, "Okay." She was like, "Well, that don't mean you can't go." And I'd be like, Yeah, you're right.
Well,
See,
y'all know
that's
y'all parents had these conversations like when they were your age, right? So, have you ever asked your parents how they feel about fitness or working out or?
I actually have see, here's the thing. My dad, he works out all the time now. And I part of the reason I think is cause of me. I told him, I was like, yo, you should get the membership to Planet Fitness. It's only this amount of dollars. She was like, nah, I'll be all right doing my home workouts. But I guess he wasn't seeing the results that he wanted to see, so he wanted to get somewhere where he could do a little more like strength training and stuff like that. But I think my parents feel I think they have a love relationship with working out. And it didn't used to be like that when I was younger. But now that I'm like out the house and I figured I guess they have more time to actually.
So there was that time frame where you was like, if your parents would have put their 20s, their 30 pictures, do they look the same and all the way across?
I think once they had me, no.
So I'm just giving you foresight, okay?
Yeah. Oh, okay.
Reality
So
is,
but-
that means I need to
Keep that in mind and stay focused.
stay focused on it. It's like do strategically. Like, look, we about to have a baby. We gotta.
Yeah, because bodies change,
Yeah.
your mind change,
Yeah.
hormones, all that stuff.
Yeah, that is a good way to look at it.
My parents look the same.
What that mean?
They look the same. So the whole like they just been looking the same.
That's a blessing.
Mm-hmm.
Like the exact same. No age.
I mean, it's like yeah. Like shoot, I look the same, but like okay, you don't look like exactly 12 no more, but I don't look
Right.
older than 18. Like
Yeah, you still look a good 19.
Yeah.
Yeah, so. Yeah, I think I look a little young too.
but you are young.
I know. What, you 22, Sam?
Whoa.
No,
I'm 27. You're not that much older than me. Neither are you. So it's like, I'm not that young.
he want to be old so bad.
I don't want to be old. I want to be treated like I'm, 27. She tried to say I was born in it was one episode. She tried to like, you was born in 2000? I'm just like, huh?
Who, me?
Yes.
Yes.
Wow.
We will
Walk.
all of us. No. We're not gonna go take a walk. I don't have time for that right now. But all four of us will give 3 activities that somebody can do for this week.
Okay.
And so I'll start. You can go.
Oh,
I don't really know, but I came up with it, so I figured I'd give y'all time to think. You can swim. Well, now you got to find a new one. That's why I went first. So y'all, swimming is the first one. Good full body workout. You can also I'm not gonna say golf because I know you want to say. You can go hoop. Get a hoop session in, and then let's go boxing. Yeah.
I like that.
And you can do that. You don't need a bag or gloves. You could just, like you said, find
Shadow
somebody
box.
Shadow
on
boxing,
YouTube. Not
yeah.
find a person to fight. Find somebody on YouTube and let them jab, hook. Yeah.
Yeah, you can. The weather is starting. I mean, you gotta check the weather because one day it's
Virginia
cold,
weather.
It's
one day it's
Virginia,
warm. But if you catch a good day, you can go outside and go rollerblading or skating.
Okay.
You can hit a little yoga to get a good stretch in, especially after you've been working out. And then, of course, you can go to the gym. Just get on the treadmill or something. Do something in the gym.
Golf, I'm gonna say. golf.
Yeah.
Bike, get on your bike.
Yeah.
Plenty of trails, or hit the trails and go for a walk or whatever. But no excuses. Jump rope.
She did 4, so now
I
that's
did
one
she
less.
did 4?
That's one less for
Yeah.
you.
Oh, dang. I say push-ups. That's like cardio and strength training all in one for me. I don't know if it's like that for other people. Something else you could do is pick up a baby, put it down.
Not put it down.
Put him or her down, picking up a baby. Being active with your children, I guess, something if you have younger children. And the last one would be to tune in on Saturdays at 10 a.m. for Wake Up and Workout
All right.
on
now.
the Mount Global YouTube page and the Mount Chesapeake Facebook page, and you will see a familiar face up there if it's what Saturday are you?
It rotates.
It rotates, yeah.
But they can always scroll.
Yeah, you'll see her up there.
Pull
She'll
up
be
some
giving
old
you
ones. No
some good
excuses.
workouts.
Right?
Yes.
No excuses.
Good workouts. Good
So those
workouts.
are just some simple ways.
But
we
just
can
get
all
up and
work out.
move. Be active.
Be active.
Ooh, dancing.
Dancing.
Dancing is a good one.
Yeah,
Yeah,
dancing
not
is
these
a good
TikTok
one.
dances. We talking about tearing the flow up.
Throwing those old school
Yes.
jams.
Yep. Yep.
TikTok dances, they be in the pocket. Like, nah, go somewhere and dance, like a go-go club or something like that. I don't know.
Cool.
But yeah, so those are just some ways, and we hope you enjoy. Make sure you tune in next week. And yeah, Sunday ain't enough, so it sure ain't enough. And
Bye.
Work out.